If you deal with clogged pores, there are definitely skincare ingredients you should add into your skincare routine, so we're gonna talk about that. Before we get into these ingredients, let's first talk about pores and what they are. So a pore is a duct in the skin that is attached to your sebaceous glands that produce sebum. So that is the reason why they can be very oily. It's literally their function to produce sebum. Pore size is very dependent on a few different things. One of those being genetics. So if you are more prone genetically to having large pores, you're going to have them. Gender can play a role because of the difference in your hormones. The location on your body can make a difference because there are definitely parts of your body, especially on your face, that produce more oil. And sometimes your ethnicity can also play a part in your pore size. One of the biggest myths about pores is that you can change the size of them, either make them bigger or make them smaller. In reality, your pore size was already predetermined. You cannot change that, but you can change the appearance of the size of your pores. And I think that's where people really get the terminology mixed up. One of the main reasons why your pores might look larger is because they are clogged. So what we're gonna talk about today is unclogging your pores so that they look like they're smaller and they look like they're smoother. But before we even get into that, I just wanna make sure it's clear that having visible pores is very normal. If you come up close to my face, you will see my pores. If you couldn't see my pores, it would mean that I either have way too much makeup on or that I am not a real human being, because everybody has pores. Another thing to know about pores is that there can be different types of clogged pores. So first we have blackheads, which I feel like are some of the more common ones that people talk about. We see people popping blackheads. Blackheads are open comedones, and the reason why they have a black tip to them is that the sebum turns that color when it oxidizes as it hits oxygen. So it's an open comedone and the sebum is exposed to oxygen. So that's why you're seeing that black, it's almost like a black shadow, but it's really the sebum oxidizing on the top. Whiteheads, on the other hand, are closed comedones, so that sebum underneath is not being exposed to the oxygen, and those also tend to be a little bit more closer to the surface of your skin. Acne is also a form of a clogged pore, but it's a little bit different because it's inflamed. So you're basically seeing the oil gland become inflamed and the swelling around your pore. But there are different types of acne. So there are papules, there are cysts, there are pustules, and there are nodules. So there are different types of acne, and that's why it can be so complicated, because there are so many reasons why you might be getting each type of acne. All right, so let's get into the ingredients that I think can really help unclog your pores, and I'm gonna make suggestions from my brand Naturium. So one of the easiest ways to think about this is that you first want to unclog the pore. And the way that you unclog the pore is you have to break down the sebum, that oil that is actually clogging your pore. You have to break that down. The best way to do that is with ingredients that actually break down that oil. And by far the best ingredient for that is salicylic acid, also known as a BHA, a beta hydroxy acid. The main reason why salicylic acid is best for unclogging your pores is that it's oil soluble. So it actually helps to break down that oil, and it can get deep into the pores to unclog it. Other types of exfoliants can definitely help to break down your sebum production, but by far salicylic acid is known as the ingredient that does it the best. Another reason why salicylic acid is great for unclogging your pores is that it's keratolytic, meaning that it helps to break down the keratin that forms over your skin that can also lead to the clogged pore. From Naturium, what I suggest is our BHA liquid exfoliant 2%. 2% BHA is the highest that you can get it over the counter. It is that perfect amount when you truly want to unclog your pores. This is more of like a toner for your skin, and I love it in this formula because we also added really hydrating ingredients in it, because one of the things that we know about salicylic acid is that while it's great at breaking down all of your sebum production, it also can be very drying for your skin. So you wanna help balance that out by having these really hydrating ingredients that we have in here. And something else that we did in here that I think makes it an even more balanced formula is that we put fruit acids in here, and those fruit acids have natural AHAs in them, alpha hydroxy acids. So you're getting a little bit more of that brightening aspect to this formula, and you're also getting a touch more exfoliation. So it just helps the BHA work even harder for your skin. That said, if you are one of those people that thinks that salicylic acid is just too strong for you, you have tried it several times, there are a few other options for you. One, you can try to use it in a wash-off product like a cleanser. Short contact therapy has been known to really be effective on your skin, just a lot more gentle, and it works over time. So you can first start with a cleanser and see how your skin handles that. If you still feel like salicylic acid is just way too drying for your skin, then you can move over to a different type of ingredient. One of them that I suggest suggest is mandelic acid. This is our mandelic topical acid 12%. Mandelic acid has a larger molecule, so it's not going to penetrate so deeply, but it's also an AHA, so it actually can help break down that oil production, that sebum in your skin, but it's just going to be a lot more gentle, and I tend to find that this is better for people who do have a little bit more sensitive skin. Just like salicylic acid, it's also keratolytic, which means that it breaks down keratin, so it helps to get to the clogged pore in the first place, which is really important, especially if you have, say, whiteheads. You want to make sure that you're breaking down that keratin so you can actually get to the oil. This is a really gentle formula. It almost feels like a hybrid of an essence and a serum as far as texture goes. It's very lightweight. All of our topicals were meant to be layered, so they're all very lightweight in texture. This also has niacinamide in it, which is an ingredient I'm going to talk about in just a bit. It's great also for clogged pores and for, excess oil production. And this also has natural fruit acids in it to help give a little bit more exfoliation and brightening to the skin. This is a really nice, gentle formula. Another ingredient that can really help with clogged pores that's also safe for pregnancy and that is very gentle for your skin is azelaic acid. You've heard me talk about my love for azelaic acid. Azelaic acid is really great for visible redness in your skin. So if you get really red or if you get clogged pores that can look like they're a little bit more inflamed, then azelaic acid is really good for your skin. It's also great for anyone who is pregnant or breastfeeding, anyone with sensitive skin, people with rosacea. It's a really good ingredient for anybody that has essentially like sensitivities and have to avoid salicylic acid, which is kind of what I think is like known as the clogged pore busting ingredient. It does have a slight exfoliation to it, but it's very, very slight. I wouldn't even call it really an exfoliator, but you do get a little bit exfoliation from it. From my brand, we have two different products to choose from. One is our azelaic acid emulsion 10%. This is one of my favorite products. I feel like this is one of my babies. It is pure azelaic acid at 10%, which is the highest percentage you can get over the counter. Usually, if you're getting it from a dermatologist, it's going to be at like 15% or even 20%. 10% is the most that we can give you. This also has niacinamide in it. Again, I'm going to talk about that ingredient in just a little bit. And then we also put a complex in here, a bioactive brightening complex in here that's just basically a combination of a few different ingredients that help to overall brighten your skin. So if you have dark spots, this is a really great formulation for you. We also put bioretinol in here, which is just kind of the industry name for another complex that is a blend of different ingredients that have been shown to mimic some of the effects of retinol without being retinol. It's a plant-based alternative. Again, it doesn't do exactly what retinol does. Nothing can compare to retinol, but it's nice to have it as an ingredient, especially in a beautiful formulation like this. I love the texture of this. It's a light emulsion, so it's almost like a light lotion. For some people, that might actually be enough moisturizer for you, but if you're like me, it's more like a serum and you still have to put your moisturizer on. Sometimes 10% pure azelaic acid can be a little strong for people. In that case, then you can go for our azelaic topical acid 10%. This one is a derivative, so it's a little bit different. It's a glycinated azelaic acid. So what that means is that it's a derivative of azelaic acid, so it's a little bit more gentle and it works a little bit slower over time. So again, it's going to be better for people that are sensitive to pure azelaic acid or that want to ease into getting to the pure azelaic acid. One thing that makes this ingredient stand out from pure azelaic acid is that it also has the benefit of balancing your oil production, of your sebum production. So if you're dealing with clogged pores, this might actually be the better option for you to add in, maybe even with your salicylic acid, because this one is going to help balance that oil production while it's unclogging your pores and helping with the overall brightness of your skin, and it's going to just make your salicylic acid work even harder. We also put niacinamide in here, and we also put a vitamin C derivative in here to just help with strengthening your skin and also to help further brighten your skin. This one also has a different texture. Just like I said, our topicals are more of a light texture that's meant to be layered, so this has more of like an essence serum hybrid texture. Another thing to note about azelaic acid, even when it's the derivative, is that if you're new to it, for some people it can tingle a little bit or it can even be a little bit itchy. Some people like me might not experience any of that at all when they're using azelaic acid, but if you do, just know that it's completely normal and your skin will get used to it. The next ingredient is one that you hear me talk about all the time because I just love it, and that is niacinamide. If you're a person with clogged pores, you need niacinamide in your life. Yes, you can get a little bit of niacinamide here and there in all of your different products, but I specifically think that this product has been a game changer for so many people because it is a targeted niacinamide product. Niacinamide is great because it helps to calm that redness in your skin, that visible redness. It's also great because it helps to balance oil production. So if you have clogged pores, you can't just unclog them and then expect them to never get clogged again. If you have excess oil production, you're just gonna deal with more clogged pores. So you have to stop that cycle in the first place, and that's what you do with niacinamide. Niacinamide is also just great for supporting your skin barrier. So again, if you want to make sure that your pores are unclogged, you have to make sure that your skin barrier is happy, and niacinamide is one of those ingredients that's great for that. And then one of my favorite things about niacinamide is that it helps to brighten your skin. Just overall, you get brighter skin. So if you have dark spots on your skin, if you deal with, like the dark spots after you have picked your clogged pores or something, or tried to unclog them, then niacinamide is also gonna help with the overall appearance and texture of your skin. So niacinamide is just an overall wonderful ingredient. Is it on its own gonna do what salicylic acid can do? No, they work completely different, and they work well together. So niacinamide is really wonderful for that. Our niacinamide serum 12% plus zinc is a zinc PCA, which is also great for anybody who has clogged pores. It helps really with that inflammation and that bacteria that might be causing the clogging. And then also it has vitamin E in it, which just helps make it a very nice hydrating product for your skin, and also supports the niacinamide in here. This has a beautiful texture. It's a little bit of a thicker type of serum, but it's still very light in texture, and so many people love it. This is a wonderful product to just include into your skincare routine. And if there's one in here that you haven't tried yet, I'd say go for this one. Over time, you're gonna see the biggest difference in your skin. So you're gonna use salicylic acid or the other acid ingredients that I mentioned to help unclog your pore, to break down the oil production. Niacinamide is great to support your skin barrier and also to balance the oil production. So this is how it's going hand in hand with unclogging your pores. Next up is retinoids. You'll always hear me say that you should introduce retinoids into your skincare routine, because retinoids in general are just one of the more important ingredients that you need in a skincare routine that does everything. Whether it's fighting the signs of aging, whether it is unclogging your pores, whether it is having brighter skin in general. If you haven't added a retinoid into your skincare routine, then that's one of the first ones you should be adding in. Don't even look at any of the other products just yet. Add your retinoid in, because that's gonna probably give you the most results to start. Retinoids are basically a category, so they are vitamin A derivatives, and the ones that are the most studied and that have the most proof that they work are the prescription strength retinoids. So you're gonna go with either tretinoin or tazarotene, anything that your doctor prescribes to you. That is probably the strongest and also has the most research behind it. They're like the gold standard when it comes to anti-aging and for unclogging your pores and for stopping acne and everything. And then we move to the over-the-counter retinoids, which tend to vary in strength and also in how well that they work. And it sometimes comes down to formulation. So it really depends on what it is that you're trying to get. I tend to go for the over-the-counter ones a little bit more, just because it's what my skin can handle. I like knowing that I can use a retinoid every single night. And for some reason, tretinoin, which is a prescription strength one, just is so hard for me to use on my skin. So I just fall in and out of using my tretinoin, but I use my over-the-counter retinoids all the time, basically every single night. As far as why you need retinoids for unclogging your pores, there are two main reasons. One, retinoids stimulate skin cell turnover. So while it's not exactly exfoliation, it's very similar in the thought process. As we age, our skin cell turnover slows down, meaning that we're not sloughing off as many of our dead skin cells as fast as we used to. So if our dead skin cells get caught on our skin and in our pores specifically, then we get clogged pores. So you want a retinoid ingredient to help stimulate that skin cell turnover, so you get rid of all those dead skin cells and they're not there to clog your pores. The other reason is that if you want your pores to look like they are smaller and tighter when you unclog them, then you need an ingredient that also helps to strengthen the walls basically of your pores, and that is also your retinoids, because they help to stimulate collagen production. So retinoids really work in so many different ways to just make your skin look better overall. But specifically when it comes to clogged pores, retinoids are gonna help to unclog the pores by getting rid of all the skin cells and really help to strengthen the walls of your pores. We have a couple of different retinoid products from NATURIUM, but my personal favorite is this one. It's our Retinol Complex Cream. We also have our Retinol Complex Serum. They're both pretty similar in the way that they work, except one is more of a light texture for people that want something that's more serum-like, and then there's this one that has more of like a cream moisturizer feel to it, and I think that's the reason why I love this one so much. We have a complex here of encapsulated retinol, which means that it's going to be a little bit more gentle on your skin and it's going to penetrate over time, but that encapsulation also keeps it more stable so that this product lasts a little bit longer as well and stays more effective. We also have a blend of bioretinol in here, again, that plant-derived retinol alternative. It's more of a complex, and then we have bakuchiol in here, which again is one of those plant-derived retinol alternatives. That's how they're kind of like presented out there. Again, I don't think that they can replace retinol, but I think that when they're used in conjunction with retinol, they actually work really well, and you see lots of great benefits for your skin, especially when it comes to anti-aging. But one of the reasons why this is one of my favorite products is that it has beautiful lipids in it. This can be your one and done product at night. If you don't need a lot of moisture for your skin, this is perfect for you. During the summertime, this is like my one and done. I like wash my face, put this on, and I am so done for the night because it has everything that I need. And that product leads me actually to the last ingredient that you need, because I was talking about the lipids that you need for your clogged pores. This one is sometimes counterintuitive to people, but you do need ceramides and lipids for your skin to properly unclog your pores. The reason why that sounds weird to people is because a lot of the time when I talk to people who are dealing with clogged pores, they're stripping their skin. They feel like they have to get rid of all the oil they have on their skin. They have to, you know, just completely strip it down to get it really, really dry. And that is actually the worst thing that you can do if you have clogged pores, especially if your pores look like they're enlarged and they're getting a little bit more saggy looking. You want to make sure that you are supporting your skin barrier. I think that's probably the most important thing that you can do for your skin, is make sure that you have a very healthy, happy skin barrier. Your skin barrier is made up of different lipids and fats. That is all there is to it. If your skin barrier is not happy, then the lipids and fats are off. So you wanna make sure that you're replacing those and you're keeping your skin really moisturized. That's gonna make everything look like it's nice and strong and healthy and firm and plump. So I always recommend ceramides and lipids for your skin, even when you think that it's going to cause more breakouts, because that's honestly the worst thing that I always hear from people. It's like the worst myth that I hear from people is that if they use a rich moisturizer that has ceramides or lipids in it, it's going to break them out more or clog their pores more, when it truly is the opposite. If your skin is too dry and too irritated because your skin barrier isn't happy, it's actually going to produce excess sebum and cause more clogging of your pores, because you're just creating a cycle. Your skin is trying to fix itself by producing all of that oil. So instead of doing that, give it the oil that it needs, the proper amount that it needs. My favorite product to suggest is our Plant Ceramide Rich Moisture Cream, which is now in a jumbo size. I wanted to show you guys this one. This is my favorite moisturizer from my brand. There are so many really good moisturizers, and I know people love our multi-peptide moisturizer and our niacinamide gel cream, but for me personally, this is my baby because I tend to have drier skin and I love the ceramides in here and the lipids and the way it just feels. If you look at it, it has this like, it looks like it's really, really rich, but then when you put it on your skin, it melts down into this beautiful buttery texture, and it really helps to make your skin barrier happy. It really does. I find when I tell people they should use this moisturizer, even when they have clogged pores or they have oily skin, they find that their skin becomes so much more balanced and so much happier and just really dewy and glowy and firm and plump. That's what this product does. It is such a perfect moisturizer in my opinion. So if you're looking for a really good moisturizer, whether you have dry skin, whether you have clogged pores, whatever your skin type is, if you feel like you need to like balance out the oils in your skin, go for something like this that has ceramides in it. It's going to balance your skin and make your skin barrier happy. Trust me, it's like always so surprising for people. So a really quick recap. You wanna get your salicylic acid or some of these other acids into your routine to help break down that oil and really properly unclog your pores. You wanna use an ingredient like niacinamide to help with your oil production, to help balance your oil production, and to also just support your skin barrier, because the skin barrier also has to be happy. 3, you need your retinoids, because everybody just needs retinoids in their skincare routine. protein, but that's gonna help speed up your skin cell turnover and also help strengthen the walls, that structure of your pores. And then last, you need your ceramides and your lipids because you don't want your skin to go into panic mode and to overproduce oil because that just gets you right back into that domino effect. So you wanna make sure your skin is just nice and healthy, your barrier is supported, and it's not irritated and it's not super dry because that's just going to lead to more clogged pores. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. If you have any other tips or ingredients that you think should be added to this list, definitely let us know as well. You can find me on Instagram. I'm at Susan Yara, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.